Look carefully at what is happening in this video. I am standing behind this strong man. He cannot see my movements. He does not know what I am doing. There is no suggestion. There is no physical contact. And still, my influence on his body is so strong that two people have to protect him so he does not fall and hurt himself. For me, this is a very clear example of what I have been showing for years. A smaller person is not powerless against a much stronger attacker. When you learn how to use the hidden power of your own body, your feeling, your intention, and your bioenergy field, you can affect balance, movement, and reaction without physical force. In a real situation, on the street or anywhere else, you would normally be facing the attacker. That means your influence could be even clearer, stronger, and easier to direct.
Hey guys, Rob here with McDojoLife, and as much as I would love nothing more than the guy in that video to have been playing around or just joking, unfortunately he is dead serious. And that Jedi goes by the name of Barislav Hermesic. I think that's how you pronounce his last name anyway, because I have no clue what those little things are above the letters. Well, there you go. See, we learn something new every day. Remember how I said just a second ago that he's actually being serious and not just messing around? Well, let me read you his bio on YouTube so you can get a better handle on how serious he is.
What if mind over matter is real and the human body can be influenced without physical touch? On this channel, you'll see real no-touch demonstrations showing visible human body reactions, balance changes, movement influence, and energy-based interaction without contact, tricks, hypnosis, or editing. I'm Barislav Hermesic, a researcher and instructor exploring human potential, telekinesis training, Qigong, Qi energy, energy healing, and the human energy field through real demonstrations captured in everyday practice. This channel focuses on mind power, body awareness, focus training, natural healing, and practical exercises designed to help people explore their own hidden abilities. Real demonstrations, real reactions, no touch. Subscribe and decide for yourself.
Well, I'm sold not. As noted in that bio, he claims to be a grandmaster in Qigong. Of course, there is a slight problem with that. Neither of his websites nor his YouTube channels actually explain where he learned martial arts or who he learned it from. You know what I call that in this line of work? Red flag. Thank you, Jamaican lady. The martial arts that he actually does teach is exclusively 100% no-touch martial arts techniques. Now that is pretty damn crazy even for this channel. I mean, you have to figure the top two no-touch martial arts frauds that I've covered on this channel, one being George Dillman, Exhibit A, and the other being Mikhail Ryabko, Exhibit B, both dabbled in no-touch martial arts techniques, but they still did also teach hands-on martial arts techniques, which makes this guy, this Barislav instructor, it makes him probably top-tier Hall of Fame martial arts fraud. Now, besides his no-touch martial arts techniques, he actually does have quite a bit in common with Mikhail Ryabko. You see, Barislav also claims to be a Systema instructor, and just like he claims to be a Grand Master in Qigong, we also cannot find any information whatsoever about this dude ever actually training in Systema at all. But for giggles, here's a little clip of him claiming to teach Systema.
Russian special forces trained with Systema, but what you're about to see looks like Qigong energy healing taken to another level. No touch, no warning. Here we see a classic simulation of a hostage crisis. The person who is the hostage is sitting on a chair while the alleged attacker stands behind them. What you can clearly notice is that the person simulating the attacker simply cannot remain calm when I move. In other words, he reacts to my movements even though they are random, simulated, and do not directly indicate any specific solution to the situation. Here, I am only moving as if I am talking and trying to calm down this tense moment. But watch carefully how the person reacts. He is no longer a direct threat, and he is no longer positioned behind the person sitting on the chair.
That's right. You heard that crazy shit correctly. That's a different level of crazy. It's the only time ever, and I have seen some crazy shit on this page, but it is the only time I have ever seen someone actually claim to save a hostage from a hostage negotiation situation by taking out the hostage taker with chi powers. Crazy. Me personally, if I'm in that situation and I'm sitting in the chair and there's a gun to my head and I'm being held hostage, he's the last dude I would want to have help me. I want a real hostage negotiator. I want people with guns, a SWAT team, some snipers would be great. But if that guy walks through the door, I know I'm no-touch martial arts and Systema are not the only things that he actually has in common with Mikhail. Mikhail and Barislav both love to teach Bullshido martial arts by sitting in a chair. The only real difference that I can see is at least Mikhail every once in a while would put his hand on a student. I mean, here's Exhibit A of Mikhail's Bullshido in a chair. And now, Barislav's demonstration of Bullshido in a chair.
I am sitting on the chair and one person is standing behind my back. Watch how quickly I removed every possible threat.
It seems to me the only martial art he probably actually ever trained a day in his life is probably at Steven Seagal's martial arts school of sitting. Barislav is not just a martial arts con man, he's also a medical con man. Barislav wrote a book, and that book is titled The Heart is the Secret That Will Change Your Life. Discover the incredible powers of your heart in this revolutionary book. Yes, that is the entire title. I think he could have cut it down by a paragraph or two. In his book, he discusses what he calls the hermetic healing power of heart method. He claims that his healing method blends both science and religion. And if you use this method properly, he claims that it will overcome diseases, create a happier life, and develop powers that were not visible until now. So this healing method that he himself has developed, he claims that it blends science and religion. Usually those two things don't bounce off each other very well, but hey, I'm still listening. He claims that it will cure diseases. Okay, highly curious about that as well. And he also claims that you're gonna get supernatural abilities. Tell me more. In his book, he claims that all diseases and illnesses are a direct reflection of what's going on in ourselves internally by us not following God. So if we don't follow God, that's what creates diseases and illnesses. That doesn't sound very scientific to me, but we continue. This is where it gets stranger. He claims in his book that by opening the heart and a method that he calls decoding the heart, that you can actually prevent the onset of illnesses. There is a catch though. Apparently the only people who know the method of decoding the heart are people who were chosen directly by God, who he refers to in the book as the source. He also claims in the book that no one else has the ability to do what he calls decoding the heart unless they were chosen specifically by God. That you can't actually teach this to anyone through traditional means. The only person who can actually teach you how to do it is God himself. To add more to his crazy, he even says that if you attempt to even try to decode the heart without being chosen by God, that you are risking your heart stopping. Now, he talks about decoding the heart a lot in this book, especially in the final chapters. So how exactly is decoding the heart done? Well, he never actually tells you, but he does let you know that he will be explaining that very dangerous method that could stop your heart if you're not chosen by God in the next book. So you're not going to get it in this book, but if you really want to take a chance and you want to try it without being selected by God, purchase the next book and then you can risk your own heart attack. Now, before we move on and give this guy some Dillmans, I want to give you at least one more glimpse into his crazy martial arts training. Here's a freebie for you.
I am standing and we are simulating a direct threat. You can see for yourself how serious the threat would really be under real conditions. Here, you can clearly see me standing while the other person points a finger at me, simulating an aggressive or threatening situation. Of course, with only small movements I am able to throw the person off balance. So watch carefully and ask yourself, if this is only a simulation, what would the real level of danger be in an actual situation where someone tried to threaten me? This demonstration shows how quickly a possible threat can be neutralized even before physical contact happens.
Now, time to give this guy some Dillmans. It's very clear that Mr. Hermesic here is a crazy person, certifiably insane human being that somehow has managed to convince people to pay him money to learn how to heal themselves internally because he was chosen by God, according to him. Now, as we all know, there's absolutely nothing super culty about people who claim to have divine powers given to them and them alone by God. I mean, never in the history of cults has that ever happened. Clearly, this man did not understand when he said combining science and religion that somewhere in there needed to be some proof, which he has provided absolutely none. Even worse, he's claiming that he can teach people self-defense. And we're talking high-stakes situations like hostage situations. Can you imagine if you're actually crazy enough to fall for this guy's crap and someone you love, someone you know, winds up getting held up at gunpoint and there you are trying to cheat your way out of it? You're both getting shot. So this guy is definitely getting 5 out of 5 Dillmans. As a matter of fact, at this point, he should have his own emoji system because he's probably one of the craziest ones I've ever actually covered on this page. But hey, maybe you don't believe me. Maybe you yourself think that this guy is not as insane as I'm claiming. Well, his book's right there on Amazon and anybody can go pick it up. I'm sure he could use a couple bucks. This brings us to the question of the day. The question of the day is brought to you by Wodify. Wodify is my newest sponsor. I truly appreciate them coming on board. They're actually helping me gather and doing a little bit more positive content, which I'm excited about. But if you run a martial arts facility and you need software to help you manage that facility, check out Wodify. I'm putting a link in the comment sections below or in the description below so that way you can click on that and learn more. Question of the day is about religion. So don't freak out in the comment sections over other people's religious beliefs. Everybody's got their own. Me personally, I'm agnostic. Now you know. Let's ask the question. So my question to you is twofold. How do you think that religion could actually help benefit martial arts? And how do you think religion would actually harm people in the martial arts industry? Let me know in the comment sections below so that way I know that you watched the entire video. But also so that way we can have a good, clean, wholesome, family fun dialogue about religion and martial arts. As always, thank you all for the likes, comments, shares, subscriptions, memberships, and of course, anybody who's a member, because you guys allow me to continue to do this for a living. Thank you guys so much. Keep the martial arts legit.
My baby got robbed the other day by degenerates. So she wanted to learn some new form of this self-defense. So she did her research and perused it online and found this dude said he could move shit with his mind. He call himself Seafood Paul Zimmerman. He got a dojo with a strip on near Cinnabon. Now she spends all day trying to